is the most underrated football player ever? Well, a lot of you guys would probably say Andrea Pirlo, but it seems that these days he's popping up on most lists of the best midfielders ever. So today, I'll look into 10 players who probably don't get the respect they deserve despite being excellent footballers. Number 10 is James Milner, who's been quietly doing the business for Liverpool for many years now. He works incredibly hard, can play in both midfield and as a wingback, and has used his technique on the ball and calmness and experience to drive Liverpool on. Milner simply always delivers, and for that, he's not rated highly enough. Henrik Larsson is 9th, who might be one of the finest players ever to come out of Sweden, alongside Zlatan of course. He was intelligent and excellent at finding empty space in the box. He could finish with both feet and must have been a complete nightmare to play against, as he was a strong, quick guy as well. Of course, he did manage to play for both Barcelona and Manchester United, but probably only gets the love he deserves from the Celtic faithful. Next is Sergio Busquets, who's basically been providing the cover for Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, Neymar, and all the other Barcelona greats to do their thing going forward, and has been a major part in winning all the many trophies, because Busquets is an insanely good holding midfielder who's so smooth and calm on the ball that he's a fantastic possession player too. He'll win the ball and keep stringing passes together and do all that underappreciated stuff that you don't show replays of. And that's often just as important. Now, when we talk about some of the greatest attacking midfielders in the last 20 years, Zinedine Zidane and Ronaldinho pop up. But what about Francesco Totti? Look, the guy has scored well over 300 goals and got over 200 assists. And he did it all for AS Roma. He's a World Cup winner and one of the most elegant, intelligent players you'll find, who also had the self-confidence to just go out there and do his thing. One-club players are rare, but if the King of Rome had gone to, say, Real Madrid, a lot more people would probably respect his name. Now, we've mentioned Andrea Pirlo already, but there's another former AC Milan midfielder who was an absolute beast too. Clarence Seedorf. Not only did he win the Champions League 4 times before he retired as a 38-year-old, but he was a world-class midfielder who did a job both defensively, thanks to his stamina, his tactical awareness and physicality, but also offensively with his impressive passing range and ability to drive the ball forward. Machine. 5th place goes out to Batigol, aka Gabriel Batistuta, who scored 346 goals in 614 matches. He was one of the most complete strikers, as he was quick, strong, had an insane positional awareness, and just had the ability to strike the ball so hard and true that he scored some absolute worldies. He played, of course, most of his career at Fiorentina, so just imagine what would have been if he had played for one of the European powerhouses. That can't be said for number 4, the Maradona of the Carpathians, aka Gheorghe Hagi, who played for both Barcelona and Real Madrid, but never actually managed to win anything of note. Now, Hagi was a stocky small guy who was strong and quick with the ball to beat defenders on the dribble. And he had an absolutely magical touch on the ball and also a rocket of a left foot. 3rd place goes out to Guti Hernandez, whose passing genius and vision managed to get him playing time on not 1, but 2 Galactico teams. He won 5 Spanish titles and 3 Champions Leagues, but his genius was never really appreciated despite being a Real Madrid academy product who could play some absolutely mind-blowing passes when at least he could be bothered. And yes, he was inconsistent at times, but a super underrated football player nonetheless, who's made one of the filthiest assists I've ever seen in my life. Paul Scholes is 2nd. And okay, he wasn't the sexiest player ever to watch, but the intelligence and passing range of this fella was insane. He's been lauded as one of the most difficult players to face by Zinedine Zidane, and Xavi, Messi, Fabregas, Henry all mentioned him as one of the greatest midfielders they've ever seen. He scored, had one of the filthiest long passes I've ever seen, and tied the midfield together like a boss, just quietly doing his business. The most underrated player ever, though, has to be Michael Laudrup. Look, this legend is one of the only players who managed to play for both Real Madrid and Barcelona and still be loved and revered by both sets of fans. Just think Luis Figo, that didn't really go well. Now, Laudrup had fantastic vision and incredible passing range and was one of the smoothest ballers you'll ever see. And he's also the player that Andres Iniesta modeled his game on and really looked up to. And as Pep Guardiola said back in the day, the Ballon d'Or is worth nothing because Michael Laudrup never won it. Of course, I could also have mentioned Gianfranco Sola, Jari Litmanen, Fernando Redondo, and, well, yeah, who's the most underrated player in your opinion? Let us know down below, go subscribe with the notifications on, and then go check out 10 football accessories that were once cool in the video to your left. And with that, guys, I'm signing off. Cheerio.